Hey everybody, Nick here. Welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to talk about some things that President-elect Trump or President Trump has been saying over the last little while before he's been inaugurated. And that is him mentioning that he wants that maybe they should annex Canada, make it the 51st state, which I don't agree with, being from Canada myself. Taking over the Panama Canal, renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and also annexing or taking over Greenland. Now, I know that the likelihood of them annexing Canada is very, very low, like next to nil. But the other things I think are quite realistic, even though a lot of people think that he's joking and he always says whatever he thinks on the top of his head. Now, I don't hate Donald Trump for whatever it's worth. I don't really like to hate on any of these figures, even though I know that they're globalist elite and they're part of the whole cult that is trying to push an agenda. Now, I don't know whether he's a willing participant. I would bet on it that he is at this point, and I didn't think so when he first was elected. But I would imagine that he probably is. And if, best case scenario, he probably doesn't realize it. And he's just being used as a puppet by those that he, surrounds himself by. And, his inner circles. Now, I'm going to tell you some stuff as to how I can prove that this is part of the globalist agenda. But let's talk about each individual thing that he has said. He says that Canada has been, taking advantage of the US, they've been subsidized and all of these things. Completely untrue. The US and Canada have been longtime traders and business partners and close allies for over 150 years. There has been few infractions, but for the most part, they've been allies. Let's say for at least 150, let's say 150 years. U.S. relies on Canada for crude oil, and yes, the U.S. does produce its own oil, but the difference is U.S. cannot refine the specific oil that they're mining for, whereas the Canadian oil, they basically transport it to the U.S. and they buy it, and a lot of people depend on the oil and gas from Canada. A lot of other trading happens between commodities and things like that, and I know Trump says hundreds of billions of dollars. That's simply not true. I think that the dealings have been quite fair. He can say what he likes, but you got to show the figures to back it up. But I don't think that Canada is in any way taking advantage of the U.S. Sure, we do like the protection of the U.S. They have a substantially bigger military than Canada, obviously. But when you're close neighbors and you both speak the same language, you have a lot in common, that kind of goes hand in hand, in my opinion. And it's not like someone is trying to invade Canada at all. He says that a lot of drugs and things like that are coming over the border. I don't believe that to be true either, because it is very difficult to smuggle in even stuff that you've bought over the allowed amount. If like a Canadian goes to the US and buys something, spends over the amount, I think it's like, I don't know what the limit is, it's like $700 or $800. If you go over that, you got to pay duties. They're really stringent. The security is excellent at the border, crossing from Canada to the US and vice versa. So I don't buy that for a second. About Greenland, this is, in my opinion, all about resources. And someone is putting this idea in Trump's head about possibly annexing it, and US would be able to protected, and then it's also better for national security and yada yada yada. Let's be honest. It's to reap the rewards of the natural resources that Greenland has, and it has tons of precious metals. Mining companies would have a field day there. So let's be honest with ourselves. It's nothing to do with helping the people of that place. You know, it's really sad that we've screwed up every other place on this planet. So let's go to Greenland, which is clean and pristine, and fuck that place up too, right? Just for your own gain. Humanity has no bounds, no limits whatsoever when it comes to raping and pillaging of the natural world. The Panama Canal, I'm not exactly sure why they would want to take it over, except for maybe to put tariffs on products coming through, and I don't know what it could be. I really don't. Now, with changing the name of Gulf of Mexico, I think that's more of to take a slight or a jab at the Mexican people. I don't think that really has any benefits whatsoever, other than Trump just being Trump. I really don't know why he would want to do that. There's no real benefit except for just to, again, take a jab at the Mexicans. I don't know. So if you look back in 1968, I wanted to, before I get to that, I just thought of it right now. He has not ruled out military force for the Panama Canal and for, what was the other one? Greenland. He's not ruled out military force. And he was even asked straight up about Canada, would you use military force there as well? And he's like, no, economic force. Like, this is the talkings of a tyrant, not somebody who believes in freedom. And I thought America was supposed to be the home of the brave. Yeah, land of the free, home of the brave. Sorry, I'm not American. And you have this guy going all over the place, trying to impose his will on people. It's just absolutely ridiculous to me. Like a bully, when America is supposed to be the beacon of hope on the hill, That's all gone. That is tarnished now. I do believe in protecting your interests at home, for sure. But when you're imposing on sovereign lands and things that have been part of another country for so long, this is nonsense. Especially when the accusations he makes against Canada, like, give me a break. But I'll explain why this is not random, okay? And it goes back to part of these secret societies and these different groups that have been created over the span of like 100 years or so, especially in the 20th century. So as I was saying, in 1968, the Club of Rome was created. I think it was like to monitor environmental and natural disaster things, stuff of that effect. But they envisioned a unified North America, as well as a unified America, Canada, and guess what? Greenland. And that came out in 1973. I'll show you a map just so you can have an idea of what they envisioned. So this is no accident as to what is going on. I mean, I'm not going to get into all the fine details, but if you do a little bit of research, you can see what the Club of Rome was about and what they envisioned for North America. They wanted like I think in the 90s as well, they wanted a North America, similar to like the European Union, but a North American Union with its own currency and everything. I mean, it's so blatantly obvious that you can see what they plan, a one world government, and we're heading in that direction because you have to start off slowly, right, in sections. You have the European Union, you have the BRICS, they want the South American. I mean, it's headed that way. It's just so obvious, especially if you do a little bit of research. And it's right in our faces. It's not like this is all in the hidden. It's in the hidden because the mainstream media doesn't show any of this stuff. So they're probably trying to execute this part of their plan through Trump. And my personal belief, my contention is that his first term as president was to basically fool everybody into thinking that he was an anti-establishment candidate, anti-establishment president, and an anti-globalist guy, which has been nothing further from the truth. He's mentioned about Canada becoming the 51st state, I think before, or he mentioned Greenland, I think back in 2019, but it never came to fruition. So if you just see what the plan is, where they want to go with this, I mean, it's all to benefit this cult. And I think they're trying to do it through Trump. And I know a lot of people in here on my channel, whatever, believe Trump is their like savior and he's going to fix America. I'm telling you right now, 4 years from now, there is not going to be, people are still not going to be better off than they were before. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I hope that there's no wars. I hope that things like that do get toned down, but I don't see that happening so long as this cult is in control of the politicians. Now, one of the really sickening things that I saw was when Trump Jr. and this guy called Charlie Kirk, who is like a big Trump supporter, they flew the Trump plane to Greenland, and it was just a very sickening sight, trying to make it as if they're there to make Greenland great again, was their like quote. And I'm thinking, Greenland was always great. They don't need you to help them out with that. And they give all these like, native people, these Make America Great Again hats and all that stuff, getting them on TikTok, and it's really quite pathetic, them trying to sell the idea that they need to join America because it's for their protection and they'll be better off and this and that, when it's all about pillaging Greenland. And I don't know whether it was Elon Musk who put this idea in Trump's head, or because I think he's part of the whole cabal as well. Whether you guys believe it or not, that's your choice. Because where are they going to get their chips from? Their microchips, the materials that they need, like cobalt and all the precious metals to produce his rockets and his AI technology crap. I mean, they all stand to make a ton of money. You just have to follow the money, and you follow where they want to take humanity technologically, and it's all there. Even Musk has said he wants to connect AI with the human brain. Peter Thiel, the same thing. It's all there, guys. All I can say to you is that it's no accident that Trump is saying these things. I think now when he speaks, for the most part, the cult is speaking. And we just have to pay attention, because people have fallen asleep because they follow Trump. They think that he's going to save them. And unfortunately, the agenda moves forward with or without Trump. I bet you if Kamala Harris had won, everyone, and she was doing the same things, everyone would be questioning it. Everybody would think, oh, what are they up to now? What are they going to do? What is she up to? Because they don't like the candidate. But unfortunately, they're all in the same club. It's a big club and you're not in it. That's the one of my favorite phrases ever. And it rings so true, because they do not have our best interests at heart, that's for sure. I don't have much else to say about that. All I can say is that I wish that Trump would have a little more respect for one of their closest allies. We've been trading forever. Yeah, I'm no fan of politicians. I'm no fan of the Prime Minister of Canada, who has done a horrible job in destroying Canada in so many ways, who seems to be on the way out, but that's a whole other video, and that might take a long time for him to leave still. But guys got to keep questioning everything. I've mentioned this in a previous video, and see where they're taking us, because everything that happens is not a coincidence. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think it's just all random? Do you think this is part of their agenda? Do you think these things are going to happen that Trump has mentioned? Or do you think it's just him talking out of his ass? Let me know what you think. And thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video very, very soon. Bye for now.